Hi, welcome back to our channel.
In this video, we're going to tell you 10 don'ts which you must avoid during your next trip to Japan.
So stick to the end because you don't want to miss any single tip. So don't number 1.
So for don't number 1, we recommend that you don't carry too little cash when you're walking around Japan. Basically here, cash is king. You're going to use cash for most things. You can use credit cards, but you can't depend on it, especially in places like ramen shops, coming from taxis, from small mom and pop shops. You want to have cash on hand just in case. So we did a whole video dedicated to the topic of money here. But basically, as far as how much you should carry, I recommend that you carry about 50 to 60,000 yen with you, although you said there's some kind of formula.
This formula is Japanese, that you should bring much money, like...
Depending on your age?
Yeah, like you multiply your age by 1,000. So if you're like 30, you should bring like 30k yen.
Yeah.
And if you're like 20 years old, then you should bring 20k yen at least.
I would say that too, except when you're traveling, you might have more expenses than the average person walking around in Japan. So yeah, I would say multiply that by another 2, just to be safe.
Yeah, because as Dustin mentioned, some places don't accept credit card, and if you're doing some sightseeing, like in Kyoto, they don't take credit cards at shrines and temples either.
Okay.
So like it's a good idea to carry around a good amount of cash.
Okay. And now it's time for don't number 2.
Don't come to Japan with 0 Japanese.
Yeah, you want to have some Japanese when you come here. It might be a bit surprising by how little English people speak here, but you can usually have transactions happen as long as you have a positive, friendly attitude, and as long as you use some Japanese. Like, it really helps a lot. People might shut down or be a little bit shy to deal with a foreigner unless they have a sort of friendly vibe and use some Japanese.
Yeah, just say like some greetings in Japanese, then people are willing to help you or talk to you, even if you only know English or your language. And if you could just download a tiny, like one little app, like some translation app, and try to just point it out, then people would be kind of really willing to help you, don't you think?
That's true.
And there is a book about pointing English and there is Japanese down, and that kind of books are useful too, I think.
Some phrase book, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can link down below.
Yeah, that's a book we recommend. But just off the top of your head, what would be some things that would be very helpful? I think like the greetings, like Ohayo gozaimasu in the morning, Konnichiwa, which would be around 11 a.m. to maybe 5 p.m. is useful. That's Konnichiwa. Then there's also Konbanwa.
Well, that's too much. I would say like just remember like... So
We'll do another video in the future.
like if you don't want to remember too many, I would say these 2 would be good. One is sumimasen, which can be sorry, hello, excuse me kind of thing. And 2 is arigato.
Oh, I was gonna say onegaishimasu, but you're saying arigato? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Now that's a good one. Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you just want to be friendly and polite, and
Yeah.
then people are usually friendly to you, I think.
And number 3 is onegaishimasu, which is like please or
Yeah, please.
give.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can look them up, but the point is you should learn a little something. It definitely smooths over the interactions you have with people.
Yeah.
So try it out.
So don't number 3.
All right, for don't number 3, this is don't expect Wi-Fi to be everywhere throughout even big cities like Tokyo. Wi-Fi is very rare here. I think Wi-Fi. I think Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi is most people that come now to Japan, they get like some portable Wi-Fi device, which is totally the way to go. If you are to try to depend on Wi-Fi actually just being in public places, it's very sparse. It's very hard to come across. And I know my first trip to Japan, I was like stunned actually at how difficult it was. I even tried to meet up with a friend and I didn't have any Wi-Fi access, so I tried to go to a Starbucks which people recommended that at least Starbucks has Wi-Fi access. But in order to sign up to that, I needed to verify my email, which requires Wi-Fi. So basically it was a catch-22. I couldn't really do anything very effectively. Get a portable Wi-Fi. Don't expect Wi-Fi to be everywhere.
Granted, we are probably trying to increase the amount of Wi-Fi or the services for 2020, the Olympics, but some cafes even wouldn't have any Wi-Fi. So it's kind of surprising for me on the other side. Like if I go somewhere like London, there's a service called the Cloud, and the Wi-Fi service is available throughout the city.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really happen in Tokyo.
No.
Yet.
You'd think that Japan is very advanced, and it is for some things, for many things, but as far as the Wi-Fi is concerned, they're probably not in that department. Now it's time for don't number 4.
Serious don't. Number 4 is do not do weed.
Yeah, don't do weed. Don't bring weed or bring any sort of drug into Japan. They have zero tolerance here. Right?
Zero, like completely zero. Even for me, I have zero tolerance about weed because I was told so, and you can actually ruin all your life here.
Yeah, you can. Even as a traveler, you know, you're not above the law here. They have strict laws. Just don't do anything like that. It's not worth it, you know? In Japan, I've said this before. It kind of sounds like a joke, but I actually feel like being in Japan is a little bit like being on drugs. Just a little bit. I'm not saying it's crazy here. The point is, I can relax. The point is that there's enough stimulating things here. You don't need to take another mind-altering drug. It's, like she said, it can ruin your life. So don't do it. And now it's time for don't number 5.
Don't number 5. Do not book your hotels or your Airbnbs too last minute.
Yeah, you want to get those ahead of time, right?
Yeah, we are basically having more and more tourists to Tokyo and Kyoto and those areas, and we are kind of lacking numbers of hotels and Airbnbs. And speaking of Airbnb, we actually had to delete a lot of listings from the website, which is because we have really strict rules about Airbnb kind of stuff, and they have to apply for some regulation stuff.
Yeah, it seems the same with the Uber thing. It's like they're trying to shut down the little guy. I don't know what the backstory is, but the point is they required these applications and a lot didn't do it, right? Mm-hmm. So you said that 40,000 listings were deleted off of Airbnb?
Yeah.
I don't know how many there were originally, but that's a very big number.
Yeah.
So the point is, there is kind of a scarcity of accommodation. How far in advance would you recommend that people book their accommodation?
Well, if I go somewhere for my work, then I usually try to book like at least a month beforehand.
Okay.
Latest.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could book like 2 months beforehand, 3 months beforehand, that would be really good. Or even like far ahead.
Okay, the farther ahead, the better.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Unless you want to stay in not too good place for a higher price.
Yeah, if you want to get a nice place for a good value, then the earlier you book, the better.
Yeah, and you want to remember that hotels in Japan tend to be smaller than those in America or something. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
So if you don't want to be like squashed in a tiny room for a higher price, then just remember to book your roof for the first thing you do.
Yeah, and also make sure that the bed is long enough for you. Because sometimes the beds here are a little bit short. But anyway.
So, the time for the don't number 6.
So for don't number 6, we say don't take public transportation during rush hour. That would be roughly between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning and roughly 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at night. Yeah, if you try to take public transportation at those times, especially depending on the line, the train line, it could be crazy crowded. So you want to keep that in mind, avoid those times.
Yeah, especially in Tokyo, you might have heard of like a guy pushing pushing people into the train carriage. I actually never seen them, but
Me too.
trains are really crowded during rush hour, especially in the center of Tokyo. And you don't want to get on one when you're on holidays, right?
Exactly.
It's like so stressful, and you can even check your phone, or you can't even, read a book or anything. You just need to just be tiny.
That's right. People actually do get packed on the trains, but they're just packing themselves on the train. So, yeah, it can get pretty cramped in there.
Yeah, and if you have like a luggage bigger than like a just small backpack, you never want to get on these trains.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
There's no space for a suitcase.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Yeah, and people will be extremely angry at you if you have a massive piece of luggage when you're on those trains.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely avoid those times.
Yeah, if you have to go through Tokyo during this time, maybe you can try to get an airport limousine to the closest station, and yeah, just do whatever you can.
Yeah, that's a good tip. If you're coming from the airport, yeah. Now it's time for don't number 7.
Don't number 7. Don't avoid getting personal or SUICA.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was common knowledge that you should get a train card as soon as you arrive in Japan. But actually, I met some travelers, some subscribers, who did come without they were just using tickets, basically, every time they went on the train. And that's not the best, right? Why is that?
In Japan, when you buy a train ticket, you have to check the fee before you get on, and that is on a big sign, which is usually just in Japanese, and you have to see where you are and where you're going, and maybe sometimes you have to see which line you're taking. So that takes so much time and effort.
And you have to see the price depends on the distance, right?
Yeah. So like if you're really used to it, it takes so much time again, and you're using coins, like checking which one is which,
It's
and then
crazy,
putting
yeah.
it in there. But if you get this travel IC card, then you can just top up as much as you want,
Yeah.
and you can just go beep and go through the gate.
It's prepaid.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone uses tickets. I think I used tickets a few times to maybe for work. I needed some like proof of buying a ticket. But it's even hard to get the amount of money correct. I think like sometimes you get it wrong anyway, and you still have to talk to the station master, which takes more time.
And the tickets is like this tiny.
They're easy to lose.
Yeah, it's easy to lose, and you never know where to put in. And if you have this card, then it's just normal card size, like credit card size, so you can always put that in your wallet.
Just get the card, it's easy.
Yeah, and you can pay with the card at convenience stores or vending machines, or maybe sometimes on taxis. You just need to spend a few minutes to make one for the first time, and you do need a deposit of 500 yen, but you can get it back when you leave and return it. So there's no reason not to get it.
Yeah, we talk about it more in the video we mentioned before, the money tips one, so check that out.
Don't number 8. Do not take taxis too much.
Yeah, why is that? They're a little bit expensive, maybe?
Yeah, simply it's expensive.
Very expensive.
Unless you are really in the center of Tokyo and you're taking in a really short distance, it's easy to go up to like $10 US, $20 US. Plus, we don't have Uber here. So if you want to go on a budget during a trip, then you should try to stick with public transportation, which is usually really convenient. So try to be familiar with the train map, and try to utilize the public transportation here.
Yeah, it's much better. And she mentioned the price of the taxi can go up to $10, $20. Try $80. My first trip, me and my friend took a taxi late at night, and it cost more money. And basically, like she mentioned, short distances. I don't know, maybe 1 kilometer or something, like 2 kilometers. A short distance is best.
And if you take the taxis between 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., there's an extra fee as like a night fee thing, which is 25%.
Whoa.
So even if you're too tired after clubbing,
Just stay out all night.
Yeah.
Just stay out all night, or be in a place, that's close by. If you're not staying close by, get the last train or stay out all night. That's it.
So now, don't number 9.
So for don't number 9, we recommend that you don't leave a train station or don't check out from the train station with your Pasmo without first checking which exit you should be leaving from. This is especially true in some really big train stations in Tokyo or any big train station in any city. Like if you're in a small one, there might be like 1-2 exits that are pretty much the same spot. But for these big places like Shinjuku Station in Tokyo, there's like tons and tons of exits, and you want to know which side of the station you want to be on, which exits, like if you're meeting someone, you want to know exactly where they are.
Yeah, if
It
you're
can be sorry, go ahead.
So if you're meeting with anyone at the station, then you always want to check which exit or which spot you're meeting up.
Definitely. Because in the case of a place like, for example, Shinjuku, I mean, if you walk out one of the other exits, you can be going like really far away. There's a lot of these massive underground pathways, so
it could like take 10 minutes or something like that to go from one to the other exit.
Yeah, it's like you're going, some of them go to other train stations too. You can be walking around for a long time, so.
You could even find yourself at a different station without noticing you're like walking too long.
You're walking a while, put it that way. So don't do that. Check where you're going. It helps a lot. And now it's time for don't number 10.
Don't number 10 is do not ignore train manners here.
What should you do on a train, or what shouldn't you do?
There are actually quite a bit of manners here, like you shouldn't put a makeup on, or you shouldn't be on the phone on a train stuff, or something like that. If you do that, then you get like eyebrow raised.
Eyebrow raised. Actually, the makeup thing would sound crazy to a Westerner, but some people do that in Asian countries. So don't put makeup on the train. There's a lot, we'll probably do a dedicated video on that. But anyway, the point is that you want to stay civilized on a train. You don't want to be too loud. Don't want to use the phone. And basically just act the way that other people are acting. Anyway, if you want to help us to continue to make content for this channel, please consider checking out our Patreon page. We have a wide variety of rewards, and we'd like to get as many people on there as possible, even people donating small amounts, because it helps our channel a lot to have a community. It really does motivate us, so yeah, check it out.
And if you get 10 supporters, what?
We're gonna get a special sushi meal for Akina. Alright? And if you want to learn more about your trip to Japan, feel free to check out our video about Japanese money tips, or you can check out our video about the Shinkansen guide. And as always, thanks for watching this video, everybody. Why don't you leave a comment, let us know what you think. Thanks.
Thank you.